Hello, my name is Jon Krome, and I'm here to announce that I'm starting a new podcast. It's going to be called Uncapped with Executive Roustabouts. I'm very excited about this podcast because it's going to focus on oil and gas executives. And I've been in the oil and gas industry for 35 years. It actually started when I was merely 10 years old, and my parents bought me the Time Life Book of the Month Club. And the one called The Earth particularly piqued my interest. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Years later, when I was applying for colleges, one of my college essays stated that I wanted to be a geologist for Exxon. And I got pretty close because I was an engineer with Mobil. I have an undergraduate degree in geology from Johns Hopkins, got a master's of petroleum engineering from University of Southern California, and I've worked for companies like Mobil, Era Energy, and BHP Billiton as an operator. I've done years of management consulting as well, all on behalf of oil companies as well. I love this industry. I think it's misunderstood, and it's very complex with lots and lots of nuance. And it's also one of the most entertaining industries you can imagine. And if you've been watching television lately, I think you would agree. So what is this podcast about? I'm going to focus on the vast reservoir of experience and wisdom from former oil and gas executives. I believe this is an under-tapped resource, and these folks have a tremendous amount to give back. Their learnings, their experience can help shape others in meaningful ways. I'm going to focus on former executives for a couple of reasons. One is they're unencumbered by the red tape to secure them. And I think they might be a little bit freer in their conversations if they're no longer tethered to a big oil company. These folks have a tremendous amount to share. And there's really no other venue like this podcast for them to share it. Yes, there's podcasts in oil and gas technology, and current events, and global markets and the big picture, but there's really nothing that's going to show the human interest of the executive. This podcast is going to be entertaining. It's going to be educational, perhaps a touch provocative, and demonstrate that our oil executives that have led us this far really were just people like you and me in the end. What is it not? This is not a deep exploration of one specific company, particularly the ones that the executive guest has been working for. Some of them have agreements that prohibit them from speaking about the companies they left, and I want to avoid that entirely. At the same time, sometimes I wonder how relevant it still is. Certainly there are things to learn, but those learnings might have occurred at the time, particularly on specific projects or initiatives that the executives were a part of. Their teams did deeper dives, post-mortem analysis if there were things to learn. And I don't want to rehash those specific situations, although I do want to rise to a different level and talk about more generalities. This is not also investigative journalism. I'm not Magnum PI, I'm not Veronica Mars looking for the big mystery to solve, the big scandal to find. This is a conversation amongst colleagues, and we might talk about things like regulation, what is core work and what to focus on, technology advances, the global supply chain, supplier management, and things of that nature. So who are the potential listeners or the ideal listeners? And frankly, it's anybody in the oil and gas ecosystem. In particular, that could be people who are currently working for oil and gas companies and want to take advantage of learning from these executives. Maybe get a little boost in their own career, hearing some of their advice. Maybe they're at a low point and they need a little bit of inspiration. Maybe they used to work with these folks and want to catch up a little bit and see what they're up to now. It could be for students who are thinking about the oil and gas industry in their future. And as a student, could you work for people like this? Could you see yourself becoming some of these people as well? Because our students are the future executives, of course. For those in another industry and you're curious about oil and gas, maybe you're thinking about a career change, this might give you additional insight about what it's like to work in the oil and gas industry. Again, you're not going to find any content quite like this. It's for those who want to learn more about how and what an oil and gas executive thinks, particularly if you've got a product or service that you think can help the oil and gas industry. Getting to the C-suite is pretty difficult for many suppliers, And this might be a venue by which you can tease out more than you otherwise would, making you more effective and being able to help the oil and gas industry more. And of course, it's friends and former colleagues that might just want to see where they're at today. Where can you find it? Well, it should be starting April 7th and dropping Tuesdays about every 2 weeks. You'll be able to find it on LinkedIn, and there'll be a LinkedIn page for Uncapped with Executive Roustabouts. Also on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, because it is going to have video in an interview format. Of course, you can comment before or after the episodes. That'll help me improve my guest selection and improve the format of the interview podcast itself. And of course, you can always just comment at the LinkedIn page for Uncapped with Executive Roustabouts, and I encourage you to share it, repost it with your friends and your family. Your kids might even enjoy it as well. I look forward to this journey together, and I hope to hear from many of you soon. Once again, this is Jon Krome, Uncapped with Executive Roustabouts.